Welcome to this episode on how the ActiveSupport object returning works. Let's get started. If you have read the blog post by James Bach on mining ActiveSupport object returning method, then you would have learned that ActiveSupport has a method called returning that does some cleaning up of code. I'm just going to walk you through a simple example of how this thing works. So I just have a simple class that has a setter and getters. Let's say title and author. And I have a method create foo. Let's say book B, something like foo.new. I set the title, set the author, and then I just return the object. That's what it does. Let's run this. And let's say I want to print the title. As you can see, it prints the title which was initialized to some title. We can also print the author. Now, what I would like to do is, instead of instantiating this and then returning it, I want to make it such a way this is kind of simplified. So what if we do something like this? Do and can we do this? So this way, this variable f is the value which is going to get by executing this, and we return the value of f. Can this work? No. Author is null, and title also is null, as you can see from here. What if can I access it like this? Will this thing work? No. That also doesn't work. So how can we do what I did before, where I instantiate the class, initialize the variables, and return the object? That's where the method returning comes into picture. I'm just going to implement it here. In ActiveSupport, it's included in some module. I think it's mixed into the object module. Or they open up the class object and they put this returning method in there. So what we need to do is we need to yield this object to our block here so that we can do whatever we want with it. And then return that particular object. That's it. So now what I can do is I can call this returning method. This is foo.new object I pass into this function, and when you do a yield object, it's going to yield to my block right here. So foo.new object will be this particular f, the block variable, and then I can initialize it, and when this thing when my block completes, it's going to just return that initialized foo object f. So returning would return that foo object, and when I do author or title, it will display its value. There it is. And if we print the title, we can also see what the title is there. This actually depends on your taste of whether this is good way of cleaning up those methods, or do you really want to have another method? And others have to hunt around and figure out what exactly this returning is doing instead of being explicit of what you're doing and the intention is clear just by looking at the code. So it really depends on the skill set of your developers who are working on your team. So personally, I don't really think this thing buys me that much. It just kind of cleans the code a little bit. But the thing I wanted to show you was how the healed can be used. This is basic thing. This can be used in other scenarios where it's much more powerful. And the arrays enumerator method, like each uses these things internally, where you can operate on the elements of a particular container, and you can do whatever you want, so the iteration is much simpler. So learning how to use this yield effectively helps you to write some powerful constructs in Ruby. So that's it for this screencast, and if you enjoyed it, please recommend me on working with us. Thank you.